I don't think we live under what I thought we live under, an actual, like, dome. I think it's more of a...
Let's find out.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald...
Please subscribe. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris, from New York, Westchester County. It's 2:27:25.
Don't ever do that again, Chris. That was creepy AF, as the cool kids say.
Why don't we get right into it? Let's start off with some history, shall we say, of myself.
Oh, history, is it? Well, here's a quick history lesson for you, Chris. For centuries, brilliant minds using observation, mathematics, and, actual science have been able to prove that the Earth is without doubt a sphere, an oblate spheroid to be precise, so your history is about to get a reality check, pal.
When I first got into this, there was a little thing, well, maybe it wasn't the day I got into it, maybe a couple of years after I got into it, there was a little thing going on with veganism and some other bullshit. Some YouTuber creators were fighting amongst each other, and I think if you go way back into the Wayback Machine, I remember there was one video I put out saying, why can't we all just get along?
Ah, yes, the delicate ecosystem of the online flat earth community. It's fascinating to observe their tribal disputes. You can almost hear Sir David Attenborough narrating.
Here we see the flat earther Veganicus clashing with the flat earther Carnivorous Rex. Their arguments, while lacking in scientific merit, are rich in passion.
I've been doing this for a lot longer than you think, okay? Because remember, whenever the first video I put out was, I spent almost up to a year contemplating it, trying to figure out if it was actually true or not, and going back and looking at videos and looking at the ocean, and looking at the stars.
And this is where you landed. So before you publicly declared your allegiance to a debunked theory, you were secretly contemplating a debunked theory. It's like a time travel movie where the hero goes back in time to make the same mistake he made the first time around.
Just re-examining movies, and seeing globes in every movie for no reason at all, and the back of a detective's office. What the is a globe doing there?
What? Globes in movies are evidence of a conspiracy. So set designers doing their job to create realistic environments are secretly part of a global, unintended, cover-up. I need a few seconds. My suspension of disbelief just snapped.
A few moments later.
Next you'd be telling me that the presence of chairs in movies is proof of a secret society of furniture manufacturers.
And then it finally occurred to me they need the conditioning. You see, when you see that globe, whether you even know you're looking at it or not, it doesn't make a difference. It just keeps you conditioned. Okay, they need this. They need you to be asleep.
Warning, prolonged exposure to globes may cause an uncontrollable urge to understand basic geography. Side effects may include critical thinking, a grasp of scientific principles, and a sudden aversion to tinfoil hats. Consult your local astrophysicist if symptoms persist.
Okay, they need you to keep thinking about the stupid shit in life.
Things like flat earth, you mean?
Spank you, helpy helper done.
And not researching flat earth.
Oh, right, let's see then. So according to you, that would include science, education, history, geography, space exploration, and apparently having a globe in a movie. So basically anything that contradicts your preconceived notion of a flat earth. Right, got it. That's a very broad definition of stupid though, Chris. And research flat earth, you say? Now, is that the kind of research that involves watching YouTube videos from other flat earthers and completely ignoring peer-reviewed scientific studies?
And not understanding everything that you used to do and understand when you were a kid is all bullshit, and everything you learned in school is all bullshit.
Ah, yes, the good old days when we all knew the earth was flat. Wait, what? I seem to remember learning about the solar system, planets, and globes when I was in school. Maybe your childhood was different, but mine involved a distinct lack of flat earth indoctrination.
All right. They don't want you to know this. They're trying to buy as much time as they can. They've only been doing this for a short time now. You know, and if you really look at it in the terms of, you know, maybe a year, I mean, not a year, 4 generations, you know, that's really what they're working on right now. You know, 4 generations of lies and bullshit. Forget about 500 years ago, okay? I'm talking about now. Things that we can actually physically prove to each other about how long this lie has been going on.
They have only been at it for 4 generations. Well, that's surprisingly recent. I thought they were supposed to be an ancient, all-powerful organization. Are you telling me that they are basically just millennials? Well, I feel slightly less intimidated by them now. And why is it that it's always they and them who are to blame? What about these and this? Or even that? Maybe it's their fault.
NASA was created. The sky was owned by NASA. You know, you can't shoot anything up there without getting an okay.
I'm sorry, Chris, but your statement is incorrect. NASA does not own the sky. We have a strongly worded letter from the lawyers of... From the lawyers of the sky itself. And apparently it's a free access zone governed by the laws of physics, not NASA permission slips.
I can't go in my backyard and go with a GoPro rocket without getting okayed and certified through some ridiculous group, FCC.
You're right, Chris. It's outrageous that you can't just strap a GoPro to a potentially dangerous projectile and launch it into airspace without any oversight. The nerve of the FCC trying to ensure that your amateur rocketry project doesn't interfere with things like, I don't know, air traffic control or telecommunications. The tyranny!
But don't you see the control? And that's what the government does, is they want to control everybody. They have billions. I don't know what the population actually is, but let's just say hundreds of millions. Let's just say the population here in America.
Hundreds of millions? That's impressively imprecise. It's like saying there are just a bunch of stars in the sky. True, but not really helpful. The US Census Bureau might have a slightly more accurate figure. You can check. But I guess they're part of the control as well, yeah? Where are you going with this, Chris? And can we please just hurry up and get there?
They want to control hundreds and hundreds of millions of people. Okay? And make them think one cult. And that cult
is flat earth. Because it is kind of culty. You know, think about it.
Now, the experiment that happened down in Antarctica, and I don't even want to call it an experiment because it really wasn't. It was an observation.
Yeah, you're right. It was just an observation. An observation which provided evidence. And that evidence, when analysed using, you know, science, led to a conclusion that the Earth is not flat.
Yes, science!
Because as your pal Dave Weiss said,
The 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat Earth.
yeah, so it may have been just an observation, but that doesn't make it any less devastating to flat earthers.
You know, it was something I wanted to check up on YouTube, but I'm just going to go out and say it. I don't think we live under what I thought we live under, an actual, like, dome. I think it's more of a stadium, almost, on our flat ground here.
If it's a stadium, where's the concession stand then? I could really go for some overpriced nachos and a fizzy drink so big I could swim in it. Oh, and do they sell those, you know, those spongy foam hands that say we are number one? Because the last time I had one of those, the doctor gave it to me after my colonoscopy.
Well, ha ha ha.
That would explain the sun and the reflections of the sun, how you can see the sun in different places.
So the sun, which according to flat earthers is supposedly a small local light source hovering over a flat earth, is somehow reflecting off what exactly? The stadium walls? The upper deck, maybe? Is there a giant cosmic mirror strategically placed in Antarctica? It was ridiculous when you believed we were covered by a dome, CC, but this is worse. Somehow.
You know, I don't think it's flat. I think it's a little bit curved on top. That's how you can create that 24-hour sun down in Antarctica. But I don't think it's an actual, just like depicted in the Bible or something like that. You know, like they Spielberg did with his show Under the Dome. You know, and I don't think it's something. I think it's a different shape, and that's actually what's creating the 24-hour sun.
So it's not flat, it's not a dome, it's a slightly curved stadium. The Earth's shape is getting more and more specific, and yet somehow less and less convincing. Is it going to be a giant, slightly curved banana next? A cosmic croissant, maybe? And I'm glad you said not like the one from the TV show, The Dome, because that would have just been silly, wouldn't it, Chris?
That's the only thing I could think of. And the sun being in different points. And it would explain the stars, too, in a way.
We'll get to the stars in just a second, but have you noticed, Chris, that nobody on our side of the argument has needed to do any of the things flat earthers have needed to do? And what I mean by that is we haven't needed to come up with some sort of bizarre and convoluted way of explaining how we get a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. We just have to look at what happened last year when the sun was out for 24 hours, and the year before that, and, you know, I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this.
There's nothing. So these are lights in the sky. What you're looking at is like the Hayden Planetarium. Okay, that's basically what you're looking at.
LEDs, incandescent, fluorescent. Are they energy efficient? Does somebody have to change them when they burn out? And who pays the electricity bill? A planetarium, CC, is designed to simulate the night sky, which is based on the actual positions of stars in a spherical model of the universe. You're comparing reality to a representation of reality and somehow concluding that the representation is the real thing.
Go down to the Hayden Planetarium, kids, okay? It's still there in New York City, and go inside, and you can't tell the difference from the inside or the outside.
Has anyone checked to make sure the roof hasn't blown off?
So that's what I think. Now, let's go on to the little treat that we have here that we could all talk about.
There's a treat? Nobody told me. I hope it's something really good now.
And I can give you my experience with it in the many years that I've been doing this. Let's get into Patricia Steer.
Well, Mark Sargent was trying to do that for years, wasn't he? And he didn't have any luck, so what makes you think you're up for the challenge?
Pops up and goes on a show and starts hosting a show out of the blue. Let's wonder how that could happen. Very easily. De Niro, yes.
Hang on a second here now, Chris. Are you expecting us to believe that a person who claims to believe the earth is flat is only doing it for the money?
Same with Jaronism. Let's take a look at his situation. Well, he just moved too, because apparently his address was given up through the internet.
He didn't by any chance have David Weiss's app on his phone, Chris, did he?
And he was worried, so he had to buy a new place. He got his mortgage paid off.
Did he? Cool. Brilliant for Jaronism. And if he did, first of all, how the hell do you know? And secondly, what's it got to do with you? Or the shape of the earth, for that matter?
Now, who's paying this off? Will Duffy? No, I don't think so. I don't think he has that much money. He might have been able to flip the Antarctica observation down there, but I don't know if he could pay for these mortgages. I don't think he has that much money, but who cares? Doesn't matter where the money's coming from. All I know is that they got it.
Well, that's quite a refreshing change, actually, Chris, because most of you, gang, seem to think that Will is some Scrooge McDuck character with an infinite pot of money.
No, someone's not going to put 10 years of their life into something and then just wake up one day and say they've had enough.
But that's not what Jaron did, is it? Jaron attended the final experiment and accepted the results.
Doesn't work that way. Not flat Earth. Not this. because you're not forced to know about it, okay? You are given the idea and you run with it yourself.
People don't leave flat Earth because they're surrounded by a community that reinforces their beliefs, constantly feeding them misinformation and conspiracy theories. It's an echo chamber where dissenting voices are silenced and critical thinking is discouraged. It's not about not being forced to know, it's about actively avoiding knowledge. Jaron chose not to lie to himself and his audience about what he saw down in Antarctica. It's as simple as that.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Today we're going to take a look at some video footage as part of the 24-hour sun project. I don't think the project has really taken as well as they would have hoped.
The sun does circle you in the south.
Whether there is sun or whether there isn't sun 24 hours in the southern part of the world, that doesn't change the fact that the Earth doesn't appear to curve in any way.
Are you taking a piss?
And the fact that the Earth is a globe isn't changed by flat earthers not believing it.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe.
So they've had problems. But I think this video is going to really highlight some other problems that lean towards fraud this time.
So because you can't understand basic science, accusing people of fraud is the next logical step. Right, let me get this straight. Observing the sun in a location where it's known to be visible for 24 hours a day is now fraudulent. How? Is it because it doesn't fit you a flat earth narrative?
So thanks and a shout out to Zetetic Truth, his backup channel, Zetetic Backup Channel. This is a really great channel, been around for a good long time and does some great work. But he put a video out 9 days ago, McToon walks behind the sun, TFE fraud. So we're gonna do a little deeper dive into that.
Just a little bit of thinking out loud here. So MC Toon went to Antarctica, witnessed the 24-hour sun for himself along with some flat earthers, and he's the one behaving fraudulently. The one who has a huge amount of evidence to support what he says. And you... Will you just tell people that you think the Earth is flat and that everyone who doesn't is a liar or a fraud?
All right, so let's get started with this footage. Okay, before this gets going, I've watched this a few times, so let me point out a few things that you might want to watch out for.
Well, I'll be listening more than I'll be watching out for things because I can already see exactly where this is going.
As McToon approaches this mic stand, or actually it's this mic stand, I believe. Yeah, this one here. As his coat gets closer to it, you're going to start seeing anomalous movement beyond his jacket.
Okay, so it's not going where I thought it was going then, but that isn't a mic stand, it's a tripod.
You'll see the snow patterns change and this kind of do a warp effect before he even gets to touching or before he gets to pass in front of this. Sort of a strange effect. Take a look. Let's watch together. Okay, I'm going to slow this down in a minute, but let's just I'll play it and then we'll go through it. You saw the little wobble there though. See the wobble? It's almost like see along the line of his jacket here? We can see that he's stepping into almost a filter here, and it's almost a vertical line.
See the bright light source, or as it's otherwise known, the sun, which can cause and does cause lens flare and internal reflections within the camera's lens, creating bright spots or streaks on the image. So all you're doing is showing us something which is expected and going, aha, see there's a suspicious line. No. There's nothing wrong with that image at all.
On the screen. And as he moves in this area, we're seeing a wobbling effect. Let's continue to watch. Now, this is where he passes in front of the sun.
Same thing again, pal. Lens flares and overexposure, which granted can make it seem like objects or people are passing in front of or behind the sun, but it's an optical illusion. not evidence of a flat Earth. He didn't actually just pop behind the sun. Mate, you should have really looked into how camera lenses work before you made this video, because you clearly haven't.
The least strong part of the sun, I guess you would call it the glare. That's this outer area here. The sun itself, when there's a glare like this, would only be relatively small in this area. So this glare is weaker, it's not the actual sun, so his head should in fact block this light.
Ah, right, the least strong part of the sun, also known as light.
Yes, science!
Look, even a weak glare from a thermonuclear explosion 93 million miles away is still gonna be pretty bright. The fact that his head is in the glare isn't some groundbreaking revelation. It should be.
But it's not doing that. It's not even interacting with this light. His head has gone completely behind it.
And you don't think that that's maybe because the actual sun, and I mean the real one, is 93 million miles away from Earth? So that does make it a little bit tricky for anyone to interact with.
Of course, he can interact with it, and we will see him blocking this sun in a little bit. But for now, let's just continue to watch. Again, he's going behind just the glare, so there's no reason why his head shouldn't interact with that light and actually dominate it.
He's close to the camera. The sun is far away.
These are small, but the ones out there are far away.
So his head will naturally appear to interact with the sun's light, like you're showing us on the screen. I don't get what you're trying to prove or disprove here. You said he isn't interacting with the sun's light, and now you flipped it and said his head will block out the sun.
But he walks right behind it, including all this light wispy rays here. He has absolutely no effect on that light whatsoever.
And yet, 2 seconds ago, you said that MC Toon's head will dominate the sun's light. Which is it?
Now, I'll let it play for a moment, because what I'm also interested in is this rule that he brings back. It's almost like he's really trying to show us what's going on. Let me pause for a second here. So he's got this long rule, and honestly, this next sequence just has me wondering, was Toon trying to tell us something here?
Yeah, he was probably trying to tell you you're wrong about the shape of the Earth.
Okay, let's continue with this. Again, the interaction between this ruler and the sunlight is another part of what we're analyzing. So look, the ruler isn't even interacting whatsoever with the outer glare of the sun there.
Mate, are you watching this video with your eyes open? Even I can see that because of the way the sun behaves and interacts with objects on Earth, that the top corner of that ruler is blown out and invisible almost.
Again, just like McToon's head didn't.
But I thought Mike's head was going to dominate the sun. Make your bloody mind up.
Now, when it hits in front of the sun, it blasts this area here between the rule and the sun.
Can you make any sense of anything this guy's saying, or is it just me completely misunderstanding what he's trying to prove?
What we're looking at here is impossible with natural light.
Yeah, but it isn't strictly natural light, is it? Yes, the sun is a natural light, but it's being viewed and you are looking at it through the lens of a camera. So you have to consider how camera lenses behave as well.
Let's keep watching. So, just not like a natural sun. Now he's covering the whole sun there. Wow. Try and stop it right in the middle. Like, look at that. That's a very unusual appearing shot.
Yeah, very unusual. At the start of your video, you said that Mike was going to go behind the sun. You just showed his ruler blocking out the sun. Now you're surprised at this next shot? I am so confused, because all you're showing us is things that should be happening and do happen because the Earth is a globe.
Dave?
Yeah, what's going on between that rule and the sun is strange. You see this line here expanding and shrinking back, and just what's going on with this kind of reflective activity. Very, very unusual.
Very, very unusual.
That's not natural interaction.
Yeah, and it's not natural for a grown man to believe that the Earth is flat, and yet here we are.
This is just some footage I shot out in my backyard. I wanted to see what the sun looks like as it goes down behind this globe.
Oh, I had no idea that you lived in Antarctica. I mean, it doesn't look like Antarctica, and unless it is Antarctica, we're just going to be comparing apples to oranges.
Let's take a look.
No, there's no way this guy is being serious. When you said you were going to see how the sun interacts with the globe, I thought you meant the actual globe, you know, the one we live on, not a desktop globe. What are you doing?
Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. The glare around the outer part of the sun is not that strong. So the globe, you know, chewed into that. And you can see just at the outside that the glare was overtaken by the physical material of the globe, but the sun itself is starting to take a bite into the globe. Here, let's continue to watch.
The globe is much closer to the camera than the sun. How many times do I need to say that? And as such, it will naturally appear to interact with the sun's light, even the glare. It's called perspective. You know, that thing that flat earthers love to use as evidence, but know nothing about. Clearly.
Okay, so I forgot to pass a ruler in front of the sun the first day. I came back a couple of days later with this, and the sky was definitely a little more muggy, but we're still getting the same kind of effect from the sun. So let's take a look.
But you're not, though, are you? Because if the conditions are different, then you're not going to get the same results. You just said this cloud coverage, it's muggy, assuming that muggy means the same thing in the States as it does in the UK.
Okay, yeah, first you can see again, similar to the globe and the hat, that the outer glare gets overridden by the material of the ruler, and then it passes through. The sun itself actually seems to bite through the ruler, and then once you pass the halfway mark, the sun quickly gets small again. The ruler basically covers the sun, but you can see it's washed out on both sides, to the left and to the right, and then the sun starts to appear again in a mirror of how it went away on the other side of the rule.
Do you know, I've just realised that I could have saved myself a hell of a lot of time and effort here, because the second he showed the first pictures of MC Toon, and we all knew that it was because of how lenses behave, I should have said, try again when you know something about what you're talking about. But I didn't, did I? So there's 8 hours of my life I'm not getting back. Everything you were saying is just because you don't understand how camera lenses work. Plain and simple. You've proven nothing apart from that.
Okay, let's once again return to the scene of the pantomime, and let's see what we got.
Well, it would seem that what we've got is a person who watches Level Earth Observer, and he's always wrong as well.
Something very off about this. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Come to your own conclusions.
I have come to my own conclusions, and those conclusions are that you're a flat earth moron. I have, and the conclusion I've come to is that you're a flat earth moron who hangs on the word of every other flat earth moron, and you know nothing at all about the topic you've been discussing. I can't wait to see if Dave McKeegan responds to this video, because he will tear you to shreds.
I'm not normal, not even close. I was not recording the star like that, as it clearly was on the April of whatever night it was.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Hi guys, we got a lot of, I'm going to answer a few questions.
But we already know your name, and I can't think of any other question you might be able to answer and get right, Mikey.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald f***.
Please subscribe. You're right there, Mike. Anyway, before we get going, today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon.
The perfect breakfast. A delicious, high-protein cereal that tastes just like the classics you love. You deserve the best. You deserve Magic Food! No more wheat breakfasts. No more sugary nonsense. This is the cereal that delivers 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving, 0 grams of sugar, 4 to 5 grams net carbs. Magic food! This isn't just cereal, it's a life upgrade. And if you want to take things further, Magic Spoon has got high protein granola. 13 grams of protein, 0 sugar. Eat it with yogurt. Eat it straight out of the bag. Do whatever the you want with it. You rule your breakfast. Magic Spoon! And on top of all that, we've got Magic Spoon treats. 11 to 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Crispy and crunchy. Not one of those sad, chewy protein bars that make you wish your parents never met. I could cry. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description, use code Creaky and get $5 off your first order. Magic Spoon. The breakfast revolution starts now.
It's amazing. People are still going back to the P1000 strategy.
Well, I'm not sure how a camera can be a strategy, but okay. And it baffles me that flat earthers seem to think the P1000 is a reality-bending device. If only it could bend reality enough for them to see the curvature of the earth. Oh wait, it already does. They just refuse to accept it. Mikey, go to the beach, find a ship in the distance, and zoom in on it. But don't do what flat earthers usually do, zoom back out. Stay zoomed in and let the ship disappear. Then explain to us how it disappeared from the bottom up.
They're so concerned on my optics. What's he using? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, he doesn't know how to use a camera. Actually, I do. I'm not stupid.
Oh yeah, lecture us on optics while you were convinced that a camera can defy the laws of physics.
I, again, know how to use my brain.
Let's not take the piss here.
I went from the crappy P1000, at least this is a theory of mine, because I have a P1000. Again, it doesn't matter if you have a P1000, P900, or even my binoculars, or a $14 trillion telescope. I don't care. You have to realize there is moisture in the air.
Moisture can cause refraction, but refraction does not mean that large objects hundreds of miles away disappear from view. It's called the horizon, not the moisture monster, and the horizon curves. Fact.
You have to remove that moisture in order to record a clear star. I am the only one who knows how to do that. Not knows how to do it, but who has figured it out.
Whoa, it's amazing. Mikey solved a problem that has baffled astronomers for centuries. Moisture, that's the secret. Not advanced optics, not adaptive optics, not even leaving the atmosphere, just moisture.
You're not listening. People like to talk too much. And yes, that could be you. You need to shut up and listen to me. I'm sorry, but that's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah, and my apologies for engaging in dialogue. How dare I use words to express thoughts and ideas. I'll just stand here quietly while Mikey enlightens us with his moisture theories. Silence is golden, especially when it's enforced by someone who thinks they've single-handedly solved astronomy.
Before I recorded the Star Sirius, I was recording the Star Sirius a week before. For 5-6 separate nights.
A whole week of star observing? Well, I'm impressed, Mikey. You're certainly dedicated to misunderstanding basic astronomy. I wonder if he also thinks the constellations are just random dots connected by wishful thinking.
I was not recording the star like that, as it clearly was on the April of whatever night it was.
Well, looks like we found the hook for today's video. Mikey, that made absolutely no sense. That was just a collection of random words all in the wrong order.
You can't go out every single clear night with no clouds and assume you're recording a liquid crystal star.
Liquid crystal stars? What's that, like some new age thing? Are you saying that stars are just big screen TVs? I'm gonna need to see a science paper on that one, Mikey. But when he says you can't go out every cloudless night and record liquid crystal stars, he's correct. Because liquid crystal stars aren't even a thing. Stars are balls of plasma undergoing nuclear fusion, Mike.
There is moisture, I keep saying this, moisture in the air.
Moisture, moisture, moisture. He's like a stuck record.
It doesn't matter if I'm using digital or optical. There is moisture in the air.
Digital, optical, smoke signals, it doesn't matter. Yes, there's moisture, but moisture doesn't magically flatten the earth, if that's what you're getting at, Mikey. The camera type is irrelevant to the shape of the planet, which is, and I cannot stress this enough, a globe.
Spank you, helpy helperton.
I have gone out 400 times in the last 2 years. On clear nights. There has only been 3 or 4 clear nights with no moisture, no humidity. People are not understanding this.
He's acting like finding a clear night is like finding a unicorn. Well, guess what? Clear nights exist, and so does Earth's curvature, regardless of the humidity levels. You're just wrong and can't or won't see it.
I can go out, it's been clear here the last 3 nights, but it's been 75% humidity. I'm not even going to bother recording the stars.
75% humidity, therefore no star videos. That's a new level of scientific precision, Mike. I'm surprised he hasn't blamed the tides on excessive ocean moisture yet.
Why? You need to tell me why.
Hang on, though, I thought you were answering questions, but fine, I'll bite. Was it because of the humidity?
Because of the humidity, right.
Nailed it.
You can go outside any given night with a P1000 or my binoculars because, like I said, 4 or 5 continuous nights I was recording a blob of light with my binoculars. And then the next night, it was 100% clear for me.
4 or 5 nights of blob of light, then 100% clear. It's almost as if, wait for it, atmospheric conditions changed. Shocking, I know.
If you want to know what stars are or look like, you need to talk to me. Don't go to a second observation or a second suggestion or a third party. You talk to me.
So you're the sole proprietor of stellar enlightenment then? Apparently all those astronomers, astrophysicists and space agencies have been wasting their time. Forget peer-reviewed journals, we just need to consult the moisture master.
There's at least 4 or 5 different kinds of stars, at least so far, that I can kind of come up with. Maybe there's 6, I don't know. But there are multiple different stars. They are not all alike.
Well done, Mikey. Yes, stars are different. Some are red giants, some are white dwarfs, some are neutron stars, some are variable stars. But they all follow the same laws of physics. You're acting like you've made some grand discovery. You haven't.
The bigger, brighter stars, Sirius, Capella, Vega, yes, those are alike. But then there are other stars that look like this in the sky, just like flat hockey pucks.
Yes, Capella and Vega are bright stars, and yes, other stars appear different. That difference is due to distance, temperature, and atmospheric distortion, not their shape. Stars are not flat, Mike. They are not hockey pucks. They are spheres of plasma.
And I will show you, there are videos. Again, people are lazy.
Oh yeah, you haven't got to tell me that, Mike. I've heard that there are some people who are so lazy, they film their YouTube videos from in their bed.
They don't want to search for the truth. or their own answers.
Ah, yes, but I think what you were trying to say there, Mike, was you don't like it when people go searching for the truth because it exposes you for, well, do I even need to say it?
Where was it you graduated from again? The University of Duh.
They want somebody to wipe their ass. I'm not going to wipe your ass. I'm going to wait and go out every single night and try to record the stars, okay? I'm going out to the observatory tonight. Maybe it might be clear. I don't know.
Why don't you just look then? You do know that weather forecasting is a thing, don't you?
That means no clouds. But that doesn't mean it's going to be clear. Why again? Because there's humidity and moisture in between you and the stars.
No way, really? Well, you should have mentioned it sooner.
And the moisture is down here, probably within the first 2,000 or 3,000 feet, 5,000 feet, whatever the frickin' cloud layer is at. Below that is in the pool. You need to get out of the pool in order to record the stars. I don't care again if you have $1 trillion telescope, my $200 binoculars, or P1000. You need to get out of the moisture and you will record an actual real star.
Get out of the moisture pool? That's not science, that's a metaphor for delusion. Yeah, atmospheric conditions affect visibility, but no, they don't create a moisture pool that magically distorts reality. You're ignoring the fact that stars are millions of light years away and that your local humidity has a negligible effect on them.
People, we need to go live again with my equipment, and we will sit there. You can ask me questions, and hopefully I can get a clear star again in the next few months, whenever. I don't know when it's going to be, because I don't know. I can't control the humidity in the air, folks, okay?
But you know what you can control? The things you are choosing to believe, Mikey. The Earth isn't flat. Stars are hundreds of billions of light years away. You are acting as if it's one end of a table and you're having trouble taking photo of it from the other end of the table. What the hell are you talking about? You never make sense, but today is just, well, it's off the charts insanity.
So those stars that I'm presenting to you are the actual stars. It's not a configuration problem.
The only configuration problem I can see is the one between your brain and your mouth.
Hello? Where is everybody? I'm the only brain cell left.
If you want distorted pictures of stars, then go watch your crappy P1000 videos then, and leave me alone. I'm presenting you with the facts. And you have problems with the facts.
No, I don't. And think about it like this. You've talked about moisture pools, liquid crystal stars, and flat hockey puck stars, and you claim that we have a problem with facts. I'm starting to think that you don't actually know what a fact is, Mike.
I don't know what to say to you guys. But I need to go live again on Ironworks. We need to go through the whole system here. We need to explain it. I don't care if we're talking about stars for the next 25,000 streams. People are not getting it.
Yeah, you say whatever helps you sleep at night, pal. But I think people probably are getting it. But the problem you have is that they disagree with it because it's all a load of old crap.
I don't get it, guys. I don't get it.
No, really? Thanks for watching, everybody. See you again next week. Love you. Bye.
You f***ing prats.
What's the difference between a policeman's taser and a magician's wand? Well, a magician's wand is used for cunning stunts. You get it? Stunning. So, a teacher is teaching her class and she sees that little Johnny isn't paying attention. So she asks him, if there are 3 ducks sitting on a fence and you shoot one, how many are left? Johnny thinks for a second and says, none, miss. And the teacher says, why? Johnny says, well, because the shot scared them off. The teacher says, well, no, it's 2, but I like how you're thinking, Johnny. So Johnny then asks the teacher a question. If you see 3 women walking out of an ice cream parlour, one is licking her ice cream, the other one is sucking her ice cream, and the last one is biting her ice cream, which one is married? The teacher thinks for a second and says the one sucking her ice cream, and Johnny says no, it's the one with the wedding ring on, but I like how you're thinking. So a woman goes to buy a new pet parrot and the prices are $100, $200 and $15. So she asks, why is the last one so cheap? And the shopkeeper replies, well, he used to live in a brothel. The woman, who loves a good bargain, handed over the $15. Now when she gets home, the parrot says, cool, a new brothel. So the woman laughs. And then her 2 daughters come home and the parrot says, awesome, 2 new prozzies. And the girls laugh as well. And a few minutes later, when the dad gets home, the parrot says, well, bloody hell, Pete, I haven't seen you for weeks.